Russian promoter Vlad Hurinov says that his fighter Alexander Ustinov is in line to fight for the WBA Interim World Heavyweight title. And he says there are two opponents who may be on the other side of that equation facing Ustinov in the ring for that interim belt. One of them is Germany's Manuel Charr, and the other one, interestingly, according to Hurinov, is Britain's very own David Haye. This guy is getting title opportunities left, right, and center, it seems, at the moment, David Haye, without having to fight anybody decent. But I'm going to quote Mr. Hurinov directly here. He says, Alexander Ustinov has reserved the right with the WBA to hold a championship fight. I think that in the next 2 weeks, a contract will be signed with one of the boxers holding a high position in the rankings. This fight will be for the WBA's interim championship, and there will be negotiations with the two most likely opponents, who are both known boxers, David Haye and German Manuel Charr. Vladimir Klitschko used his exclusive right to hold a unification bout, and the WBA therefore allows him to meet with Joshua instead of Alexander. If the selected opponent for Ustinov will be Haye, then the fight will take place in England. And if the opponent will be Charr, then it happens in Germany. Those are the words of Russian promoter Vlad Hurinov. Let me know what you think about this, people. First, David Haye gets a mandatory position with the WBO inexplicably, and that guarantees him a shot at a Joseph Parker-Andy Ruiz winner within 100 days of that fight, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe that's the time frame. And now out the blue, he gets a shot at the WBA interim title, potentially against Alexander Ustinov. That's what Vlad Hurinov is saying. Which route will David Haye go? I have to imagine he'll go the WBO route, because that's a straight crack at the title. It's not an interim title. It's not a regular title. It's just the full WBO heavyweight title. So I suspect he'll go that route. It seems quicker, but you never know. Perhaps somebody gets injured in the WBO title fight. Let's say the winner gets injured and it puts him out for a prolonged period of time, whereby the WBO give that individual an extension on their mandatory, and they don't have to face David Haye within 100 days. Maybe Haye will go the WBO route. I mean, just look at Billy Joe Saunders. He hasn't defended his title once since winning it from Andy Lee, and the WBO have been very lenient with him. And they haven't made him champion in recess or anything like that. They've allowed him to keep hold of his belt when he's not even keeping it active. So we have to see. The landscape in boxing can change from day to day, week to week, quite dramatically at times, particularly in the heavyweight division these days. So it all remains to be seen. But let me know what you think about this potential fight, potential matchup between Alexander Ustinov and David Haye. I suspect it won't happen. But if it did, how do you see it going down? Ustinov is 6'7", about 300 pounds. He's a very big man. He would be the biggest fighter that David Haye has fought since Nikolai Valoev. In my opinion, Ustinov is actually better than Valoev. He may not be as tough. He was stopped by Kubrat Pulev. Eventually, Pulev stopped him. I think it was in the 10th or the 11th round. Ustinov took a knee. He was exhausted. He was getting pummeled the whole fight. I personally believe Ustinov has actually improved since then. How would he do against a speedster like David Haye, who punches very hard? I've always said that I'm not particularly impressed with David Haye's ability from a technical point of view against big, tall heavyweights. I think he's quite one-dimensional, and we saw that in the Vladimir Klitschko fight. All he ever did was circle around and wait for the opportunity to jump in with a big right hand. Vladimir Klitschko would take a little step back and David Haye would fall badly off balance. He isn't like a Holyfield, for example, somebody who he has tried to emulate to some degree by his own admission. Holyfield, when he fought big guys, he'd be tripling his jab. He'd be throwing left hooks to the body. He'd be working his way inside, creating opportunities, not just waiting for him. But that's not David Haye's style. He don't do that. And when a big guy wants to be defensive, particularly one of these Eastern European big guys who know how to be defensive in an effective manner, it cuts down the mistakes that they make and cuts down the opportunity for David Haye to jump in with seemingly his only real weapon against big tall heavyweights, which is a straight right hand. Can Ustinov employ those type of tactics and also make it difficult for David Haye? Obviously, he's not a Klitschko, but is there the potential there that he could make it somewhat awkward for David and maybe pull off an upset? Who knows? Again, I doubt the fight will happen, but the information is out there. Vlad Hurinov has told us what's going on behind the scenes. So let me know what you think of it. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.